Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Straight with End here on YouTube, where we look at the latest news in and surrounding Manchester United. Me, your host, Session Johnson, will of course take you through the latest news. But before we get into that, how are you guys doing? How have you been? And how are you feeling ahead of our game against Leicester on Saturday? But of course, continue to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. The links are in the description below to our various socials. And of course, like and subscribe to the videos and the channel here on YouTube as we want to at least reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. And I know that we can do it with your help. So, without further ado, let's get into the news. So, as you see in the thumbnail, it says that Poch has been interviewed. And this news broke out late yesterday afternoon and was a bit of a surprise. Previously it was said that John Murta already spoke to Pochettino with regards to the managerial position, but of course we once again see Fabrizio coming out saying that he has been interviewed and now they are looking to finalize the process with regards to appointing their next manager. But I have my opinions on that in the various reports that I will read to you now. The first report that was cited was that at the moment Ralf Rangnick is still involved in discussion with the board every time they decide on contracts or the managerial situation. Now, that is positive news, and it shows that the board is actually listening to a footballing mind such as Rangnick and listening to his opinion and taking in what he is saying based on the various coaches that they are interviewing. Of course, we know what he has to say on Erik ten Hag, and he definitely wants Erik ten Hag to be with him at the helm of Manchester United. More so, Erik ten Hag being the manager. Once again, I'm sure you can hear the dogs are barking as usual. The dogs will continue to bark for strangers on the outside, but that is normal. That is what is supposed to be done. That is them showing that they are alert, of the various dangers on the outside. So I do apologize for that sound. But nevertheless, of course, we continue to stay on track with, Erik ten Hag, and it looks more like that the board is leaning more towards, Pochettino. And I have various points and reports that state, the reasons why they are pointing more towards Pochettino in terms of appointing a manager. But of course, Erik ten Hag being the correct manager, showing his credentials at Ajax Amsterdam. And of course, with Rangnick being involved in the decision-making process, Cinnamon, you don't have to cry like that. You can just relax. Yeah, for those who've seen Cinnamon, you definitely know, she's a cute little sausage dog that is very, very hyperactive. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check out the previous videos. You'll definitely see her in there. Of course, sticking with Erik ten Hag, with Rangnick, as I said, being involved in the managerial, decisions, it shows that he obviously has a say. But how much of a say is probably quite slim because of the board and the Glazers and some of the players who are so powerful at the club, who are able to leak things. And of course, we know for a fact that they speak to the board behind the manager's back, saying who they want and what they want at the club. And that is the problem that Rangnick sits with, that he is a man in the middle, unable to do anything and lacks power. And perhaps that is the reason, once again, showing why our club has failed, why the decisions that they make have been mistakes. And of course, we look at decisions in terms of the managers they've appointed, the players that they've bought, not listening to the manager and what the manager wants, but doing what they want for commercial purposes. And that brings me into a point that Louis van Gaal made, saying that Erik ten Hag should join a football club, not a commercial club. And Manchester United is a commercial club. He continues in his consistent comments stating that our club is more of a business than a football club. And he is not wrong. And I agree with him 100%. On to the next report that I want to read to you. It states that the experience that Pochettino has in the Premier League, being Premier League proven, is a real point that is helping Pochettino in the race with Erik ten Hag for the Manchester United job. What Premier League experience? He was at Southampton, done well, went to Spurs, done well, took them to the Champions League final, but won nothing, achieved nothing. He basically developed teams, developed players, but didn't achieve anything. There was nothing concrete to go on to say, you know what, he's Premier League proven. But there are other managers who are also Premier League proven. You look at managers such as Steve Bruce, Premier League proven. Harry Redknapp, Premier League proven. You look at players who have gone on to become managers, they are certain players like Steven Gerrard. You could probably say, not Premier League proven, but he is proven in the Premier League and knows the Premier League. What does it mean to be Premier League proven, and how is that an advantageous point to become the Manchester United manager? We don't need managers who are Premier League proven. We need managers who can definitely take over the reins at Old Trafford and lead a big club into the top echelon of football to compete with other clubs around Europe and the world who are at the top level. We don't need a manager who comes in and, he's got Premier League experience. So what? It's the same what they do with players. Prime example, we are looking at Declan Rice as a player to buy in terms of, a defensive midfield signing that we are desperately needing. But there are players out there such as Chouamini, such as Boubacar Kamara, etc. These are players who are foreign, but they are better than Declan Rice at a defensive midfield position. But because there's this English bias towards English players, and if you have a foreign passport, if you are not English, by nationality, then you get criticized more than English players who are actually able to hide behind, the pundits and the media, and never get criticized for their bad performances. And the same goes for managerial appointments. They want Pochettino because they know him, because they know what they will get out of him. And probably when he starts to begin to fail, then they will get onto his back, because that is what they are preparing for. They are preparing for United to appoint Pochettino and to once again say, you know what, that appointment was a mistake. We saw it coming. This was coming. United should have seen it coming with his previous time at Spurs, who was not so successful. They're writing future headlines already, and it's simply because they know Pochettino. They want him because they will be able to control him, and they will be able to write their own stories no matter what they say. We don't want Pochettino at the club, regardless of Premier League experience and being Premier League proven. That's absolute nonsense. It's got nothing to do with being a top manager at a top club. Do you think Pep Guardiola had Premier League experience? No. He came in and done the business. Klopp came in and done the business. Tuchel came in and within 6 months, he was already doing the business within the Premier League. So it's a myth to be able to be Premier League proven and then come and do the job. Being Manchester United manager is a job every manager wants, and it definitely is the top job in the world. And right now, we don't need someone to come in and develop and build the team. We need someone to come in and revolutionize the club, completely turn the club on its head and push it beyond the level that it is now, and to a level which brings us back to the top echelon of football. Of course, there are more reports that I want to read to you, and it says that Ten Hag is attracted by Manchester United and wants to understand how much United want him. But timing will be an important factor in this process. Now, of course, Erik ten Hag wants United. This is why he has delayed the offers that he's received from other European clubs, because he wants the Manchester United job. With him wanting the job, it is also reported that he would want to bring Anthony, which is a player from Ajax Amsterdam, which is one of their star and key players that they have, and he is a baller. If you don't know who he is, definitely go on YouTube. Anthony, you will definitely see the quality that he can bring to Manchester United, and the reason why Erik ten Hag wants to bring him to whichever club he goes to. God willing, he comes to Manchester United, and that we continue to push as fans and as supporters of Manchester United that we get Erik ten Hag as our manager. We need to have our voices heard. We can't allow the club to go and appoint Pochettino, as we know already it's not going to work out. We know that he's going to fail. We know that some of the players are not going to respect him as a manager, and that is where the problem lies. We already have dressing room unrest with players throwing managers under the bus because they are able to do so, and of course because they don't want to work hard on the pitch or work towards what the coach is saying. They have the backing of the board as players because they are able to talk to the board behind the manager's back, and that is the problem. They will definitely do it to Pochettino, and I'm sure if Ten Hag comes in, that will not be allowed because those players will be told to leave. Definitely. With Pochettino, he'd want to keep these players because he would want to be their best friend and be friends with the board. And I don't think that is what Erik Ten Hag is in the business to do. He wants to challenge himself in the Premier League. He wants to improve Manchester United. He wants to take Manchester United to the top echelon of football, and he wants to succeed. He wants to win. I don't think he wants to come in and be friends with any players. He wants to win, and he wants to basically use Manchester United as a challenge for himself, but he definitely knows that he has the capabilities and he has the work ethic and the philosophy and the style of football to push Manchester United to the level that he's supposed to be at, competing with other top clubs for top honors such as the Premier League and the Champions League, etc. Moving along to the final point, it is said that Manchester United are in a very good position. They are in the process of looking for a manager, but now is the time to complete this process. Ten Hag wants to have an answer as soon as possible and to understand all the details about the project. Of course, I said earlier on in the video, Pochettino has been interviewed, and this shows that they basically want to delay the Ten Hag appointment because they want to have Pochettino as the coach. They are purposefully delaying things because they want Pochettino to be the manager. The Premier League proven myth is what is counting in his favor, and of course that means nothing. It's a vague statement that has no concrete stability to use and to say, you know what, it is actually a choice that we can make. But it is a dangerous, point to use as reference for a manager and to appoint a new manager. If he had to be Premier League proven in terms of winning trophies in the Premier League, yes, by all means, he would have perhaps been a manager we can look at. But he's won nothing in his time in the Premier League and his time abroad with PSG. So, again, we do not want Pochettino, and the board needs to stop delaying and make a decision, and that decision must be Erik Ten Hag coming through the door and becoming new Manchester United manager. Because there are players such as Donny van de Beek, Anthony, etc., and others who would want to succeed with Erik Ten Hag and play under him as well. He gets the Manchester United manager job, and a lot of players that like him as a coach and players who would want to play under him definitely will be attracted to Manchester United even more. But I thank you guys for joining me. That is the latest news as you received it here on the Stretford End. Of course, Poch being interviewed and the board looking more and more with the likes of appointing Pochettino, but Erik Ten Hag is still the favorite, has still his fans as us, supporting him and pushing him to become the Manchester United manager. And of course, it has come out that we are slowly but surely looking to complete the process of appointing our new manager. Time is running out. We are basically at the end of March and the season is nearly done. We need to appoint a new manager, in my opinion, and others here at the Stretford End. Erik Ten Hag is the manager that needs to be appointed. He has to be the manager that they appoint. We can't get Luis Enrique. His time with the World Cup team in Spain would not allow for him to take over as Manchester United manager. Therefore, Erik Ten Hag is the man for Manchester United. I've said it before in previous videos. If you haven't seen it, definitely go and check it out. And also leave a like on these videos if you haven't done so. Thank you guys for joining me. Continue to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Links are in the description below to our various socials. And of course, leave your comments below on what you think about our latest managerial search. And of course, what you think and who you might want to have as the new Manchester United manager. Thank you guys for joining me. Like and subscribe to the videos here on YouTube. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we can do it with your help. And thank you for those who have joined me on today's video. That is it, me, Session Johnson, your host from the Stretford End. Goodbye till we speak again.